60 Skills. The topic of today's lecture is post-traumatic stress disorder and meditation. Now, this is a big issue, and again, if somebody is suffering from a severe case of PTSD, I strongly advise you seeking medical attention. That said, as someone who has had more than a little adventure in life in some very unpleasant places, I can tell you that I do know a couple of things that can help with this. The most important of which are the releasing exercises. These exercises teach you how to use the energy in the body to get rid of things. See, a large portion of post-traumatic stress involves what can kindly be said an aberrant activation of the energetic systems in the body. The simple fact of the matter is, when we're under a tremendous amount of stress, it's possible to activate certain abilities in the body that we normally simply can't access. Unfortunately, if this is not done in a trained manner, it can create a lot of problems. Weird reactions to emotion, weird sensations in the body, getting caught in certain thought loops. These are all very common side effects from inappropriate or improperly utilized meditative techniques. As such, post-traumatic stress disorder has a lot in common with this. And the reason for this is very simple. It's mostly an astral level phenomenon. It deals with subtle energy in the body, because that's what emotion is. Emotion is subtle energy in the body. Now, we link these with specific events in our mind, and it's easy to be caught in a kind of loop where these things self-reinforce. The benefit of the releasing techniques is it gives you, as a person, the power to observe these things and let them go. And it's a very structured kind of practice that honestly has been around a very, very long time. Most people who do this and do it consistently can learn how to control these things within themselves. Now, what this cannot control or help with, honestly, are the physical aspects of post-traumatic stress disorder. If the individual in question has suffered severe brain damage, the releasing techniques aren't going to fix that. It might, however, get control of the energetic aspect of what's going on. Now, what's interesting regarding this is that over time, you'll have the memory of the event, and that will always be unpleasant. But the emotion associated with that moment in time will simply no longer be there. Now, this is performed as a three-part process. First, you do pore breathing to generate vital energy. You generate an internal image, and you shotgun it out of the body. Second, you generate astral energy. Hold that image in the mind and release that from the body. Next, you generate mental energy. Again, generate an image of what you are working with and release that from the body. This process is performed over and over again. Now, the emotion of what's going on doesn't leave right away. There's no secret switch you can throw to do that. But what it will do is it will let go of these things a little bit at a time. And after a few days, a few months, a few weeks, or a few months, you'll have the memory of the event. It just won't bother you anymore. So this is a very valuable technique, again, the 3 releases. And I have a free e-course on this available on Udemy to anybody who cares to do it. I've known many people who've gained great relief from doing this. And again, it's one of these rare things that puts you in charge of you. Additionally, because this is a hermetic approach to things, you don't have to talk to anyone else about this. Whatever's bothering you, no matter how small or how big, you now have control over. Now, as a side note, the releasing techniques can be very effective at controlling pain and a variety of other issues. One example I've used of this many times is a friend stepped in a pile of ants in Thailand, got bitten all over. He used the releasing techniques, but here's the funny part. He only remembered to do it on one of his calves. On the calf that he used it for, there was no sign of ant bites. On the other one, they pretty much ate him alive. Now, in my case, I once used this technique to treat a severe case of traveler's diarrhea. And it was very effective at treating that until the internal infection got so severe that I couldn't control it anymore and ended up losing a pair of pants. But it did work for 3 weeks, and it worked pretty well. So these techniques can be used to address any number of issues. But if you have a problem with post-traumatic stress, this is one of the few tools out there that puts you back in the driver's seat of dealing with your issue. And again, you don't need to talk to anybody about this. So if you've already done the counseling and you've already done everything else and it doesn't seem to help, try this. If you make a sincere effort at it over a period of time, you might find some pretty amazing relief. Now, the other half of treating post-traumatic stress disorder involves dreams. And there's a very good method for doing that. It's called dream yoga. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very stripped down version of dealing with this. An easy way of dealing with this is get a string of beads and get a notebook and a pen. You put the pen and the notebook by your bed. Directly before going to sleep, and this is the last thing you do, you sit down with a string of beads and you count through the string of beads one time, going, I will remember my dreams. It should take about 10 or 15 minutes. Then put the string of beads down and go to sleep. The second you wake up, and this is to wake up to go to the bathroom, wake up in the morning, wake up from the screaming memes, whatever it is, you take the notebook and you write down what you remember. Limit it to 1 page. That's it. If you do this every night before bed for a month to 6 weeks, at a certain point you're going to wake up inside your dream. And at this point, you're going to gain the ability to change the contents of that dream. So it's a very stripped down version of this, but it does in fact work. So I've just given you 2 techniques, the releasing techniques and dream yoga. In between the two, these can be very potent tools for dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, particularly in an environment where nothing else seems to work. And it's free. So if you want links to the video course, it'll be down in the details below. If you liked tonight's lecture, please hit the subscribe button and give us a like. And you can check out everything else that 60Skills is up to again in the links down below. Otherwise, have a great day and be well.